So hi Manisha, welcome to the student success stories of the ICFN course by iThrive Academy and Research Center, and we're so happy to have you on board. So just a little about Manisha. She was our student from batch 30 and she's been our alumnus, and I'd leave the introduction up to you. So please introduce yourself.
Thanks a lot, Shagun. I'm really excited to be here. A little bit about myself. Yes, after doing the certification course at iThrive, life has absolutely taken a 360-degree turn. So I'm now practicing functional medicine. I'm also quite deeply inclined towards the emotional wellness counseling side. I'm just recently I've completed the inner awakening journey with Mugda, and that's been an amazing experience as well. I also have a pharmaceutical company which I run with my husband. So that's what I was doing before this. And now I'm here. And I've been married for the past 18 years to the most amazing and supportive husband. And I think that's the reason why I'm here. I have two beautiful boys, even though they hate being called beautiful, 17 and 12. And yeah, a little bit about myself. I just love living the entire human experience. I love traveling and just experiencing different places and people. Yeah, I think that should be it about me.
Okay, we'll get to know you more through the course of this call.
Sure.
Yeah. But actually, what motivated you to join the course that IARC offers? So the functional nutrition course. How did you stumble across it, and what motivated you to join?
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a slightly long story. So please bear with me because there was no plan to get here. I wasn't planning to get into functional medicine. That's not where I was headed. But, life took a weird turn and the journey just got me here. So that's what I would say. In, I think, August of 2021, just post-COVID, I got a little sick, and not physically sick, but I started having certain symptoms where, I started to have a very choked feeling in the throat if I ate anything, little bit of heaviness in the chest. I was losing a lot of weight. So all these things started to happen. I started then, visiting doctors, trying to figure it out. Initially, they thought it was just a throat infection, put me on antibiotics. That didn't go really well. I went back after 2 weeks. Then I was put on PPIs, that is proton pump inhibitors, which, actually reduce your stomach acid. So did that for 2 weeks, felt good. It felt like, okay, they had finally figured out what was wrong with me. And I stopped the medication. 2 weeks, bang on, again, the symptoms came back. Went back to the doctor, he put me on a stronger PPI. And then I kind of got a little anxious by then, not understanding what's going on. So then the doctor said, if we still have the similar symptoms, we'll do a sonography, look at the gallbladder, all those kind of things happened. We did all of that, everything came fine, but these symptoms wouldn't leave me alone. So then he said, okay, it's time to go to a gastroenterologist, go and get yourself thoroughly checked. We went there. The gastro said, let's not just keep guessing. Come in tomorrow morning, empty stomach, let's do an endoscopy, where they put a camera down, your throat, which is the most uncomfortable experience
Yeah,
ever.
that's very scary.
Yeah. So did that. And surprisingly, even that came out pretty okay. The doctor said, when you walked in with your symptoms, we thought you would be at a 7 or 8 out of 10 according to your symptoms. But now that we've gone in there and looked at everything, you're good. You're at 2 and 3. There's really nothing wrong with you. So he kind of presumed that I was a very anxious person and it was all in the head. And that is what his, diagnosis ended up to be. So he said, don't worry, come in tomorrow. We'll start all the medications for you. And then, yeah, it was a whole lot of PPIs and, like he put me on antibiotics initially because he said they had seen, he didn't mention the word SIBO at that time, but he just said there is some, intestinal problem and too much of overgrowth of bacteria and stuff like that. Of course, even I didn't know if he would have even said it. I didn't know what it meant then. And he said, other than that, undigested food floating in the stomach and, gastric and that kind of stuff, which we can fix. So a big list. And at the end of the list was an antidepressant, which I was not very happy with. I was like, I actually questioned him. I was like, why do I need this? Like I mentioned, we have a little bit of pharma background, so we do understand medication. So I asked him, I said, why that? And he said, no, he gave me the typical explanation that, you're very anxious and the brain is not okay. And then the gut is not going to be okay. There's a connection. So we just need to calm you down. And I very reluctantly, took my file, left from there, told my husband, I said, I'm not taking the antidepressants because I don't think I'm depressed. And then later in my journey, also learned how that actually has a diverse effect on your gut health, antidepressants and how they cause more gastro problems than anything else. So anyways, my husband told me, look, do it. Let's get rid of all the symptoms and move on with our life. So I said, all right. For 40 days, I took all the meds, felt absolutely great. Went back to him, acted ecstatic because I told him, I feel great, get me off the antidepressants. So what he said was that I think you should do it for at least 3 months, otherwise there will be a relapse. I said, don't worry, if there's a relapse, I will come back to you. And after 40 days, all those medications were SOS for me. There must have been at least 4 or 5 tablets, which were now given to me as SOS. So he said, whenever you travel or whenever you're eating out, just take these, it'll keep you comfortable. And I'm a person who used to really not like taking medications. And here things are being just handed over to me to take as and when I don't feel okay. What I noticed over the next couple of months, whenever I traveled, if I ate out, spicy, whatever, the symptoms would come back and I would have to take those supplements. So for the next 6 months, I was taking all of that. Now we are in June 2022. That's when I had traveled out of the country for a month, came back. I told my husband, I said, something's not right. Okay. And it's not in my head. I'm going to do this the holistic way. And he said, okay, go ahead. You have the freedom. But the minute you feel you need doctor intervention, please don't delay it. We'll go to a better doctor and we will fix things. Right. So I started a program with another holistic practitioner. And that is when I got questioned about what do I eat? When do I eat? How early do I have my dinner? How well do I sleep? Where are my emotions? What the hell is going on? And, when we started fixing each little thing, it wasn't an easy journey. It's not that immediately the symptoms went away. But I think after maybe a month and a half, I started to feel a little better. And 3 months got done. I was okay, but I felt like I needed more work. So I did that for another 3 months. And by the end of 6 months, I was doing really well. Just by fixing my lifestyle, having taken certain supplementation to fix a lot of issues which were going on. I had chronic constipation. And that was also actually the first time a blood test was done. And my anti-TG and anti-TPO, which are your thyroid antibodies, which were looked at. But then again, when I did question them, because by then I was already doing a lot of research of my own on the side, following certain functional medicine doctors and things like that. I had kind of figured out that this is autoimmune thyroid and it's called Hashimoto's. But when I questioned the practitioner, they said, let's not put a tag to it. You're feeling better. Let's just move on with life. And I said, okay, that's also a good way to look at it. So that's what it was. I was done. But what I noticed after 6 months when the blood test was done, my antibodies were not coming down. They were only going higher. And I felt like, okay, symptomatically, I feel great, but something's not right here. And that is when my journey began. And then I had a word with my husband. I said, look, I want to get really deep into this and I want to understand this for myself. I don't think now anyone else can fix me. I got to take matters into my own hands. By the time I had discovered iThrive, I had been, following y'all on social media and things like that. So, and also because of that knowledge of functional medicine, it kind of felt like the perfect match, because like I had a live, in fact, with even Mugdha, where she was introducing us with, functional medicine and what it's all about and things like that. And there was a lot of similarities in what I had also been, learning about functional medicine. So that's actually the journey. And that is what motivated me and got me there. It was not like I went looking for it, but yeah, that's how it all happened.
It's actually quite interesting to hear that, first of all, somebody from a pharma background who actually works in that industry found their way
Yeah,
into health through the holistic wellness solutions. And secondly, one thing that you mentioned, that nobody till a very later point during your disease stage had mentioned that blood test should be done, right? And the
right.
right thing.
Yeah, that was like the last
Yeah.
thing on anyone's list. I personally knew that my iron levels, my B12 levels were low. I was losing weight. So I was already wondering that why is this happening to me? But nobody else checked it.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you did stumble your way into the right path. So I'm happy that it helped you. But tell me, how has it helped you in your personal life, your professional life, doing the course? So have you gained a lot of knowledge to work on yourself, to work with others and help others with their health?
Yeah, definitely. I think I will start with the personal life first because, I take a lot of pride and I feel really grateful for what has happened after learning the course. Today, I can say I absolutely have reversed my autoimmune thyroid. I do not have any antibodies currently. And even all my thyroid parameters are all within the optimal ranges. So that is the kind of power it has given me. On, like even family and friends, I'm able to help people out. And when I had gained all this knowledge, like there was no plan to start practicing or get into this. But the thing is, when I had gained all this knowledge, I kind of felt that if I keep it to myself, then that's not really fair. I can do something with this. I can make a difference to other people's lives. There might be so many like me confused. And if I take it out, that is when it really matters. So that's how, yeah, my venture began. I have a small little venture now called Optimal Health, which I have started. I have two friends which are part of my team. Actually, they help out with, the movement part and the meditation part. And I'm trying to do the little that I can.
That is so heartwarming to hear, because all the while that you started the academy, right? One feedback that we've constantly gotten is you're just creating your own competition by doing the course. And time and again, we've heard this, but hearing stories like yours and how, it's our vision to actually help heal the planet, and to have people like you, wellness warriors, who can actually pass on that kind of information, knowledge, and feel empowered enough to pass that on to others as well. So that's a very sweet thing to hear. But tell me this, how do you feel iThrive's approach to functional nutrition is actually different than the traditional approach to health?
Uh, I, yeah, I guess the conventional way is more about, understanding what the problem is and then just fixing the symptom, putting a band-aid on it, right? When we are here in functional medicine, what we're trying to do is looking at the blood work, looking at the different parameters and trying to get to the root cause. So there's an entire process there that we're looking at, like I have clients who come to me symptomatically with their perception, they think what's going on, but I always tell them, hold on, let's get into the blood work and let's really see what's going on. And that is what gives us the clarity. And I think that is the most powerful thing about functional medicine, that it's getting to the root and uprooting that, so that this thing doesn't come back again and again. So like even in my case, how everyone was trying to reduce the stomach acid, we now know that it's because of low stomach acid that you get all these problems in the first place, right? So having that knowledge, really helps. And in my journey, at some point I felt like, okay, should I be like taking what do you say, apple cider vinegar, or should I be doing this? But you don't even need to take it that drastic. When you understand the problem, you just need to change the lifestyle, get the inflammatory foods out, and things work out. So that is what I feel, functional medicine has given me. It's given me that knowledge to
Exactly. And
think differently.
yeah, and to say that, you yourself have worked on your own health and seen that, I mean, just to say that people who have thyroid, right, they're told that you have to be on lifelong medications, and it can't be
Yeah.
reversed, especially if autoimmunity, first of all, it's not checked outside, but even if it is, it's like just pop the pill and that's the best that you can do. So you are
Exactly.
like a live example of somebody talking to us saying that you have worked yourself on your health and everything is optimal. So there's a different conversation that happens traditionally and what happens with the functional nutrition approach.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So that's good.
Yeah.
And out of the whole course that you've gone through, which one was your favorite module and why was it so?
Yeah, so this is like very difficult to pick because I don't think there's any one module, like I can say that gives me maximum value. It has to be the collaboration of everything. But for the sake of picking, then again, I would say it is, the functional blood chemistry analysis, which actually teaches us how to do this root cause analysis that I just spoke about. And just the basic understanding of, when we look at blood work, conventionally we have your lab reference ranges, which are usually derived at, by putting a couple of sick people in a box, and also the ranges are so far apart. But here on the functional side, we have optimal ranges, which tells you that for your body to function really, really optimally so that you're healthy, you have to look at the ranges differently. So just that knowledge, like even a simple example with vitamin D3, right? In our reference ranges, below 30 is absolutely okay. But we here on the other side want it to be between, 50 and 80, because that is what is really needed by the body. So that kind of knowledge is amazing. So yeah, that module was definitely one of the most valued. And the second one is just really close to my heart, is the mental health and the nervous system module. And that is for personal reasons, because I'm so inclined towards the emotional side of it. And also I feel that you can give a person all the great nutrition and the supplementation, but if he's struggling with emotions, and if he's just waking up angry every morning or waking up in shame every morning, those supplements are not going to do much for him. And then you will have to look at the emotions and try and help release whatever has been stuck. Like even later on, I'll discuss like a live example, like where I actually, and it worked very amazingly.
Yeah, for people who don't know, we actually do touch upon. Sorry, did I just lose you? No, you're still there, right?
Yeah.
So for people who don't know the curriculum, we also talk about mental health, not in the psychiatric kind of a thing. We're not trying to be experts in the field, but we do talk about how that plays a role in your overall well-being. So the
Yeah.
impact that it can have. And it's a very fun module, to be honest, first, because even I teach it. But secondly, I mean, it's got a very interesting aspect of looking at mental health and how it can really, you can work on it to improve your own well-being.
Yeah,
But
just the knowledge that everything is fixable is amazing, because most of us just live life thinking we are stuck in certain patterns and this is the way it's going to be. But the power to know that you can change that is great, and then being able to do that for your clients. So the program which I run, emotional health is definitely a big part of that, and that's why I'm trying to learn more about it, so I can try to be as useful for my clients as possible, because nobody wants to talk about that side of life these days.
yeah.
People just want to go on living, putting everything under the rug. But I think at some point you have to face it.
Of course, I mean, simple techniques like breath work, meditation, even inculcating that, like,
Yeah.
hardly takes anything out of your day, but it really helps. We've seen that with our clients also. We've seen that when students have practiced that themselves, right?
Right.
And you come from a non-science background, right? Or do you have a science?
No, not at all. I come from a commerce background. I've done an MBA in international business. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know how life got me here, but I think when you kind of just surrender and let go, life has an amazing way to get
Work
you where you
out.
belong.
Yeah. And you might be one of the very few people who would have said that they like the blood chemistry analysis module despite having a non-science background. Because for some people, it can become like really jarring to begin with.
No,
So, I mean, also,
yeah, I won't say that it's easy. It's not easy. It is tough. But don't you feel like you yourself, you can share this with me because you're practicing too. Don't you feel that is kind of what unfolds the entire mystery. Like
It
that's
does.
the answer to the problems.
Yeah. So I think this is a moment of inspiration for everybody who thinks that, if you're not from a science background, you can't even understand what your health means, because that's not the way it rolls. And you can actually take ownership of all the knowledge that, that
Right,
is out there, that we are also providing, that you don't have to be scared by just
right.
hearing certain terms. And doctor ke paas bhi agar aap jate ho, so people are like, I don't know what he said to me. I don't understand
Yeah,
what was spoken about. He just gave me the medications and now I'm on it. So
right,
I think it's good that you have that kind of knowledge and you go with that. Okay.
right. It's very empowering.
Yeah, it is. It is actually. And actually talking about empowerment, do you have like any real world examples where the knowledge from this course has actually helped you in your practice or in your daily life as such?
Yeah, so the real world would be, first of all, myself. Again, I go ranting about myself because I really feel that that was amazing. You know, when I joined the course, my antibodies were still quite high, and I was figuring out like, what will it be, you know? And finally, we have certain supplements which are called proteolytic enzymes, right? And these are basically enzymes that break down proteins. And we now do understand, like, also thanks to this functional medicine platform, there are so many amazing people that have met. And through that, there is so much of sharing of education that happens. So there is this absolutely passionate biochemist, and he's also a naturopath, and he recently educated us. So I did understand that the proteolytic enzymes help with the antibodies, but the actual biochemistry, the way he explained it, is that the antibodies, autoimmune antibodies, are actually proteins, right? Which then start circulating in your body and attacking. Autoimmune basically means that the body is attacking itself, right? And these proteolytic enzymes help you to break that down. So that's how the antibodies start coming down. So just that knowledge, and then tried it on myself, and got rid, like, that was the first time I think my antibodies really moved very drastically. I did it for about 2 to 3 months, and then did the blood test and saw the big drop, and I said, that's great, bang on, I've kind of figured something out. And
Oh, a lot
other
of
things,
things.
like,
Yeah.
it's like my family now, it's been almost a year, the whole of 2024, nobody's now resorting to antibiotic or antihistamines or anything like that. We are natural in everything. So that itself is a great achievement as a mother, as the lady of the house, if we can just do this naturally. Another, which I said I would discuss later, is of a client. So this client came to me because he was overweight, and symptoms like lots of body ache and lots of lethargy, like he would be just yawning all day, and brain fog. Of course, he felt it was the excessive weight which was doing this to him. And I said, okay, let's look at what's happening within your body. And the minute we got in, we saw that his D3 levels were at 7. And I don't know how he was functioning. His B12 levels were at 123. And the minute I started to see that, of course, body was in insulin resistance because too much of carb intake. And then the body felt that it was in crisis, and it was storing up all the carb as fat in the body. And he was stuck in a very vicious cycle, right? So when we worked on that, within a month, he said, I don't know, but the body aches have disappeared because the D3 levels were improving.
Yeah.
The energy was better because B12 is something that we really need for our energy. And another thing which I discovered in his case was that emotionally there was this event that happened when he was a little boy. And somehow everything in life, he was taking it back to that event. And to just create that awareness, to just make him understand that this is where you're stuck, it was absolutely amazing for him. And then we saw, the weight started shedding. And in the first 3 months, he managed to lose around 6 to 7 kgs, which is not a big deal for someone who's already carrying so much weight, but it was a start. At least we knew the body had started responding.
Yeah.
So now he's continuing with me for 3 more months because, he wants to work on the emotional side as well. And plus he wants continuous weight loss. And it's been 1 week now, and we're already 900 grams down. So it's a lot of encouragement for him. He feels like, he really says, what really touched my heart in this case was when I do my initial call, right? I asked him how happy you are. Like, that's like a basic question I ask everybody. So I said, on a percentage wise, out of 100, how happy, where are we? So he said, I think I would be 50% happy in life. And I had asked him then, like, how do we move this 50 to 100? You know? So he's like, I don't know. You tell me. I said, okay, I'm going to ask you this same question 3 months later. And when we asked him that 3 months later, he said, I think I'm a good at 80, 85 now.
Wow.
And I said, that's amazing. If you can feel that, that's absolutely wonderful. So now the whole objective of the next 3 months is get him to that 100%.
Oh, I hope he does reach that, because see, if you start working again on your physical health, emotionally also you start dealing better, and you're working with the emotions also with him.
Yeah.
So hopefully
it's like that holistic overview, right? We can't just look at an individual and just say, let's just fix one thing. I think that is where conventional medicine is kind of not working now, because we're just looking at just one box, you know, and that is where the problem is, because the kind of lives we're living now, it's an entire spectrum. And maybe, you know, you could be fit, but if you're still emotionally not feeling great about yourself, your happiness score is not going to be 100. So to be able to do that, you know, and honestly, there's nothing I do, you know, they do it themselves. It's just that I'm able to show them the way how to do it. And of course, there are people who are dedicated and the ones who do give up, but it's our job to just, you know, keep encouraging them and tell them to keep going.
I mean, it's wonderful to see you coach also so well. Because
I think I'm blessed. I'm really blessed. I don't think it's me, you know, honestly, having learned so many amazing things now, I really don't feel it's me. I'm just a vessel. It's just the grace and certain messages which have to be sent across through me. We as humans alone can't really do so much, you know. It has to be something amazing behind us. And I'm sure you know that.
Yes,
being with iThrive, I'm sure you know.
So more power to all of us.
Yes.
In the same journey. And so then what was your most favorite experience in the entire learning course that you did with iThrive?
Yeah, I can't just pick one again. It's hard, but I think the sheer knowledge, right? The amount of knowledge that is being shared with us. I mean, of course, in that course, you know, sometimes it feels a little overwhelming. You feel like it's too much. But when you sit back and you look at the kind of knowledge that you've received, I think that itself was like, you know, my mind had just exploded. I felt like suddenly I was 10 steps higher to where I was, you know, when I saw the amount of knowledge that was being, you know, imparted to us. And secondly, I think it's the, you know, also the interaction with the faculty. It's not like, you know, here it's that the teachers are, you know, at a higher pedestal and they're going to say, okay, we know this and we said it and that's that. It's almost like a friendly conversation. And, you know, we are always encouraged to ask questions. Sometimes the teachers don't know the answers and they do get back to us and they tell us that, okay, we'll check on this. Or sometimes we discover something and, you know, we've had discussions. At times you tell them that, no, we don't think this is right. They always say that, okay, we will check up and we will get back to you, share the research papers and things like that. So even that interaction was a little non-conventional. Okay, not like a typical place where you're going to study or where you're doing a course, because there's always that hierarchy, which you don't seem to feel here. And another amazing thing is the backup that we have, right? Like, it's not that you're done with iThrive and it's done and goodbye, we're done. You are always, you know, part of an, you know, alumni group. You're always interacting. You have a choice to meet all the people who are part of this. Constantly, we're upgrading ourselves. I mean, of course, it's a personal choice. Not everyone wants to do that, but I would suggest everybody to go ahead, and take
At least you have the
advantage.
opportunity to do that. It's a free
Yeah,
will,
so post the course also, I have done the hormonal course. We have gone in depth into that. We have done the iron dysregulation. So constantly there are things happening.
Yeah.
Even if you can't solve a case and you get stuck somewhere, there is the Heal the Healer Lounge. So you reach out to them and they will help you out. So I feel that way you really feel part of a community. You don't feel like, okay, we did this course and now I'm a loner. I'm all, out on my own and I have to figure it out alone. That is something really amazing, I think. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, because that's what the intention was. I think Mugdha was also very clear when she also wanted to build the academy, that it has to be a whole ecosystem of knowledge that continues. Right. So even if
Right.
we update anything in the course, it's immediately available to all students across the batches. Short courses are launched. There's constant knowledge-based conversation that happens on the alumni group. So it's everywhere that you're learning, you're networking. So you get to meet a lot of like-minded people, and it's actually really nice to hear what the other person is doing and what are
Right.
the things they're coming across. Even the faculty keep on sharing whatever, like you said, right? At every introduction also we mentioned this, that we are also here. We might come across as teachers, but we are also learning along with you. Right?
Exactly.
So it's a curve that just keeps on growing. It never
Right.
stops for any party involved.
Yeah. And I feel the space of functional medicine also is such, which is constantly evolving, right?
Yeah.
We can't suddenly say, okay, I know it all and just sit down. That's not going to happen. There's constant research which is going on. There's R&D which is happening, and there are new things, new supplements. Like recently I came to know about methylene blue when Mugdha mentioned it one fine day, and I said, hey, what's that? I haven't heard of this before. And then to go back and do that research, it's just amazing. And so you can't stop. That would be one advice to everyone. Please don't think that you're done with the course and you're done. No, it's never ending.
Exactly. This is exactly the conversation we have at every batch introduction, that if you think that just what we're teaching is enough, that's not true. We are going to tell it to you firsthand, that you need to keep on reading more and more and more, because that is exactly what helps you grow. Okay, so if you come with that mindset of like learning and growing in your knowledge base, then that is beautiful if you just continue with that practice. But if we look at it in a more commercial sort of way, okay, so how has this certification exactly helped you in terms of career opportunities or growth, and has it really impacted your earning potential as a practitioner now?
Yeah, definitely. It has given me a, avenue where that opportunity has been created. Like, it's only because of the course that I could think of, putting myself out there. It gave me the confidence that I had the knowledge and I had the potential, to get out there and do this professionally. So of course the course does that, but the thing is, each one needs to figure out their motive why they're here. Like for me at this point in my life, financially, I would say, I'm pretty comfortable. So the reason I'm absolutely excited to be here is because I get to live my passion each day and be part of this healing community. And the set off of that definitely is going to be the earnings, right? So that is the way I look at it. Of course, each person will look at it in a different way. But having said that, does the course give you a push that way? Definitely. It just gives you a platform. It gives you immense confidence to really step out and get out there. Because I wouldn't have imagined myself at this age to be doing this. I wouldn't have.
Something very different than what you prepared.
That's the kind of confidence I got, and I could get up and say, no, let's do this, because when I got done with the course, I had friends and family, everyone. So when are you starting? And I said, I don't know yet. They say, no, but you're being so mean. You have so much knowledge and you're keeping it all to yourself. And I said, no, that's not the motive, but give me some time. And that's what I've been doing. Even this little venture has taken off because of, friends and family wanting to know what is the healthier way to live life, and wanting to understand, is there a better way we can do this? And that's how it's taken off for me. So yeah, I think the certification really does do wonders for people.
So a whole different trajectory for you, which I'm so glad to hear about, and I'm sure a lot of people would also empower you to continue on that journey? Because I see the intent that you come with. I see the intent that, you know, you really want to help people, you really want to continue learning, and as much as you can, just heal people. You know that you're just the vessel to do that. So I'm really glad to hear that. And speaking of that, do you think that, you know, there's any profession as such which would really benefit from the course, or is it open to all? And do you think it is something that you would recommend others to do as well?
Yeah, definitely. Personally, I feel everyone should do the course.
Okay.
If you're least bit interested in living a healthy life, I think everyone should do it. It kind of gives you a layout of how you want to, navigate your own journey and how you can have a healthy self and a healthy family. But having said that, I think even profession wise, it's like even in our academy, we have doctors who are there, we have biochemists who are there, we have naturopaths, we have acupuncturists, physiotherapists, everyone's there. So that itself, says that it's adding some value to them. That's why they're there.
Even IT engineers, so it's not only like it has.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So see, yeah. So it's not just, that, people from elsewhere also are coming there. Of course, it's adding value to them. And it's something I think which is really basic. Like when I learned about all this, I had discussions with my husband where I said, not so in depth, but why don't we just teach these things even at school level?
School level, yeah.
This is like basic things that every human should know just to live a healthy life. They should understand that what we've been doing for so many years and the environment that we live in now is not the same, and we have to evolve. There has to be that change that has to come in. You have to consider that, there are a lot more toxins in the air. There is a lot of inflammatory foods around us, and you have to start making better choices. So if we teach this to, kids in school, we'll have amazing functional medicine practitioners a couple of years later.
I am hoping that if somebody is hearing it from the education department, I'm just hoping this is taken into cognizance.
Yeah.
Students, right? Kids need to learn more about health. And that's a whole different conversation. We'll get into that sometime later, hopefully. But my last question to you, being a successful alumnus of the course, do you have any pearls of wisdom for somebody who's considering enrolling in the iThrive Academy course?
Okay. So I would advise people to absolutely come here with an open mind. Okay. Come here to learn, but also be ready to unlearn. That's the most important thing. Don't come here with your rigid mindset thinking that, we've been doing it like this. No, it's time to create a change. It's time to shift. It's time to go back to certain basics also, right? To just be able to understand the value of breath work, meditation, circadian rhythm, understand that sleep is really, really important. These things are very important for each human being. So that is what you should come here with. Having said that, is it really, really easy? No, it's not easy. It is a tough job. It will overwhelm you, but don't give up and keep putting in that personal effort. Go back if the faculty tells you, okay, this is what we did today, this is what we talked about. They share a couple of research papers with you at the end of it. Go back, look at them. There might be 7. You can't look at 7, look at 2, right? So you need to put in the effort. Like the way I look at it is, it's like iThrive gives you the ABCD. Like when you want to start reading, right? You begin at the ABCD, you start making words, and then you make little sentences, right? So iThrive gives you the ABCD, and what you do with that skill, whether you take the reading skills and become an author or you take up literature, is absolutely up to you. You can't say that you come here, do the course, and you're totally going to be spoon fed and you're going to step out and everything's going to be hunky dory. No, that's not the way it's going to be. You will have to constantly put in efforts and come here with an open mind so that you keep pushing yourself. And then again, very, very important, don't think that you know it all. None of us know it all. Every day you have to keep educating yourself. Times are changing really, really quickly. And another thing I would really want people to do is share knowledge. knowledge really grows only by sharing it, you know. So the more, because some of us feel like, oh, I figured this out, this is my secret, this is going to be my USP. We're all here trying to do the same thing, honestly. But the more we share, the more, you know, we grow. So that is definitely my message to anyone who wants to come for the course.
That's beautifully said. I mean, all your points. I hope everybody who's listening gains some sort of inspiration out of it, because, like I said, live example of what the course was for somebody who was not even from a science background, mind you, and look what she's made out of herself, and look what she's made out of her own health. So, like you said, right, iThrive has given you the ABCDs for
Yeah.
the knowledge, and you've made a beautiful scripture out of it. So thank you so much for coming and joining us today, Manisha. It's been a pleasure, and I know that this continues. This association will continue, but it's been really joyful to hear your experience of the ICFN course, and I hope that people do get inspired by it, and I hope they start helping others and themselves to grow better.
Thank you so much, Shagun. I had a really great time. I know it's been a lovely conversation, but I don't want people to think that, you know, it's a bed of roses. That's not really what it is. It's also your attitude. But challenges will come. Sometimes when you're practicing, application challenges come. When you're actually working with clients, there are issues which crop up. But you have to use, you know, your knowledge at that moment and your networking skills and figure things out. And that is what I mean. When people are able to share more, we can actually help each other out in this journey, and it's not difficult. If I can do it, anyone can.
I'm sure everybody will be now feeling more confident about doing this. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you so much, Shagun, for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. I never thought anyone would be interested in my journey, but here we are.
Come on. Okay. So
Thanks
thank you
a lot.
so much for everybody listening. Have a great day, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.